Once upon a time, there lived a king who was powerful beyond measure. It was said that he could fill his hands with lightning and command it to strike its mark. His breath produced ice and froze the oceans. He kept storehouses of snow and hail. He weighed the mountains on scales and the hills in a balance. At his summons, the earth and the heavens stood up together. But his children were disobedient and rebelled against him. They left him, never to return. Only his eldest son remained faithful. Seizing the moment, the king's enemies swarmed around his children. No longer within their father's protection, they fell captive. Some were locked up in the dungeons of disease. Some were bound by the chains of addiction. Some were kept in the torture chambers of rejection. Some were continually tormented by the whiplashes of shame. Some were paralyzed by the arrows of fear. Some fell victim to the sword of violence. Some were maimed by the weapons of injustice. Some were made to carry such heavy burdens of failure that their backs became permanently bent. Some fell and remained in the pits of poverty. Some lost their way in the caves of depression. Still others were fed lethal doses of the poison of hatred. Some were left to rot in the back alleys of anger. The king was heartbroken. He bore no grudge against his children. He thought of each of them day and night. His thoughts outnumbered the grains of sand. He knew when they sat down and when they stood up. He knew when they went out and when they slept. Even though they were far from him, he perceived their thoughts. He engraved each of them on the palms of his hands. He was obsessed with their return. He prepared a city of pure gold for them. A city where there would be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. The city street was made of pure gold, like transparent glass. The walls were made of jasper, and the gates made of pearls. Even the city foundations were made of 12 precious stones: jasper, sapphire, chalcedony, emerald, sardonyx, carnelian, chrysolite, beryl, topaz, chrysoprase, jacinth, and amethyst. The king's mind was made up. He would pay a ransom for his children, a ransom to realize his obsession. He sent for his eldest son. This eldest brother, too, loved his younger siblings. He was to be the ransom, the exchange for his siblings, sent into the enemy's territory, to be despised, rejected, stricken, afflicted, pierced, smitten, wounded, crushed, and finally slaughtered. One starry night, the eldest son left his father's kingdom and began his lonely journey into the enemy's land. He brought with him his father's message of forgiveness and reconciliation. His name is Jesus. And so, Christmas was birthed.